Hey, so real quick, I wanted to come talk to y'all because I will be releasing a new class. It's called What to Fix When You Flip. If you can't tell by the title what we'll be talking about, I'll share that in my experience as a real estate professional, I've definitely run into my fair share of flippers and investors. I've done some of my own investing. And I always think it's interesting when I come across an investor, especially a seasoned investor, who really doesn't have a grasp on the real estate market and that it's a market, meaning that it is constantly changing, and is vulnerable to supply and demand. So it actually, I just wanted to share like a couple years ago in 2021, December 2021, I was helping a client who was looking at a property, and the property was listed at 450. So I ran some comps, and I'm like, this property is not worth 450. I was like, at best, 420. It might be worth 420, but definitely not 450. And so we submitted an offer. We actually came in a little bit under 420, and the owners were flippers, and they just were like, well, like, this is so low, like, this isn't gonna work for us because of how much they'd spent renovating the property. And like, they shared with me the renovations they made, which a lot of them just weren't, they weren't going to yield any kind of return on investment. And incidentally, we found out later that there were repairs that they needed to make that like mattered, like sinks that were leaking, sump pump that wasn't connected, like safety features for the deck, like bolts missing, things that just, it's like, that's where you should have spent your time and money, instead of the choices that they made to beautify the property. But I thought it was interesting because when I was sharing with them, how comps work, they told me that they had a comp, the best comp to use was a property that was like a mile and a half away. So not in the neighborhood, because they were in a subdivision, a mile and a half away. And it was listed for it sold for 450 in July. So mind you, we're in December, but it sold for that in July. And that's not how comps work. So I had to explain to them, like, yeah, that's not how that works. One, you can't just pick one comp. You can't pick a comp that's not in the immediate vicinity when there are plenty of comps right in the neighborhood. And they were comparing the work that they had done to the work that that investor did, and saying like, our work is a lot better. And it's like, that's not at all how the market works. So that experience is one that stands out in my mind. And in addition to that experience, like I said, there have been plenty of others where I noticed that a lot of investors aren't really sure, beyond kitchens and bathrooms, where should I spend my money so that I actually get the return on investment that I want? And how do I predict as much as possible what a good price will be by the time I'm ready to put my property on the market? Because you cannot use a July comp for a December sale. So if you are interested, or you know someone who's interested, definitely register to take the class. I'm really excited about it. And I think it will be, like, really helpful to people who are new to fixing and flipping, but also if you are seasoned and just want to see, how can I further increase my profit margins? Like, how can I be more precise in this changing real estate market? So if you're interested, I will see you there. And I'll have more stories, I promise.